Recorded in eye-splitting high definition at the Can TV studio in Chicago, Illinois, it's Steve Gadlin's Star Makers.
When you feel so full of talent and you've got that special pep,
when Hollywood and Broadway are calling you and you want to take that very first step, I'm Steve Gadlin Star Makers.
you're gonna do fine.
I'm Steve Gadlin Star Makers. It's your time to shine.
The audience is seated, the spotlight's shining bright.
Get out there, you shooting star, and sparkle through the night. Yeah. I'm Steve Gadlin Star Makers.
It's so loud.
I'm Steve Gadlin Star Makers. You're wowing the crowd. Steve Gadlin Star Makers. Steve Gadlin Star Makers. Steve Gadlin Star Makers. Yeah!
And now, here's your host, Steve Gadlin.
Oh, the lights are up, the cameras are on, the 4 directors at her station. The caliber of stars will make you feel like you've embarked on a Hollywood and or Broadway vacation. And I'm so handsome to see you. I'm handsome to see you. I'm so handsome that you're near. Yes, I'm so handsome to see you. I'm handsome to see you. You've made me handsome just by being here. You've made me handsome just by being here. Now, if this were medieval times, I might start our show by saying, hello, 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 hello. People sure talked funny back then. It's modern times, though, so I'll greet you in the parlance of our times. Hello. Welcome to Steve Gadlin's Star Makers, the show that brings you tomorrow's stars of Hollywood and or Broadway. I'm so excited to share another great batch of local talent with you. Stick with us. You're going to see things that won't believe your eyes. First, let's give a hello to Corbin Peterson and Patrick Hankey. They'll be snacking on saltines and watching the show from the best seats in Chicago, the Steve Gadlin Star Makers Party Lounge. If you're like me, you're not very adventurous when it comes to food. There's just something scary about putting something new in your mouth and converting it into a bolus by chewing and salivating. One food I've always avoided is squash. My motto has always been, if it looks like a squash, then it probably tastes like a squash, and no, I don't want any squash. Something I learned recently is that squash is not just a food, it's a sport too, and that means there can be talents about it. Here's the Eradicator with his original song about squash, I'm a Squash Man. Go! I'm not a simple man, but I enjoy the simple things in life. Watch how it feels to destroy the hopes of others with a slight flick of my right. I don't know what it's like to be like everybody else. While all these bosses sitting around the couch watching dumb sports I can't relate to it, cause football sucks, tennis sucks, baseball's cool, curling rules, but they're not the sports for me. They're not my cup of tea, because I'm a squash man. I'm a squash man. If you didn't know it, I guess you know that. I'm not a simple man, but I enjoy the simple things in life.
Like how it feels to listen back to this next man. Trying to be the best that I can be. Know what it's like to be like everybody else. All of these bosses sitting around the couch watching club sports. I can't relate to it, cause football sucks, tennis sucks, badminton sucks, volleyball sucks, football sucks, tennis sucks, basketball sucks, water polo sucks, football sucks, tennis sucks, football sucks, tennis sucks. They're not the sports for me. They're not my cup of tea because I'm a sports. I'm a squash man! If you didn't know it, you weren't paying attention. You keep living your stupid life. No game will ever feel right. I'm going purpose in life. It's why to find right. So I'm here to let you know I'm a squash man. I'm a squash man. I'm a squash man! I'm a squash man! I'm a squash man! I'm a squash man.
Well, Eradicator, come on over to the intersection of Hollywood and or Broadway. Thanks for being on Steve Gadlin Star Makers.
Thank you for having me.
Boy, we sure learned a lot about different sports. Your song listed a bunch, but there's one song I picked up that you sure enjoy. It's called Squash.
That's right. Yep.
Well, fantastic. One thing I love about this show is learning about different sports and different talents. How long have you been playing music?
All my life, even before I was born. But more importantly, I've been playing squash. My grandfather, he invented the sport. Not everyone knows this. And I'm here today to spread my word and the word of squash.
Well, that sure is a message that will go out to our entire television audience. And it's great to know you have talents besides singing. Hey, thanks so much for being on the show, The Eradicator. And I wish you the best on your journey to Hollywood and or Broadway.
Are you one of tomorrow's stars of Hollywood and or Broadway? Do you live in or are traveling to the Chicago area? Would you like to share your talent with our television audience? If you answered yes to any of these questions, we want you to perform on our show. Visit us online at sgstarmakers.com or send an email to sgstarmakers@gmail.com. We can't wait to make a star out of you.
You can always count on Steve Gadlin's Star Makers to introduce you to talents you never knew existed. And that's how we keep our pulse on the fingers of tomorrow's stars of Hollywood and or Broadway. Did you notice how I added emphasis to the word count in that first sentence? Well, did you know that counting is a talent? Of course it is, because numbers just keep going higher and higher and higher. How high do they go? Nobody knows, because we haven't even counted that high yet. Here's counter Peter Kremidas demonstrating his talent, counting so high.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100, 101, 102, 103, 104, 105, 106, 107, 108, 109, 110, 111, 112, 113, 113.
Wow, Peter, what a riveting performance of the talent of counting. Come join me at the intersection of Hollywood and or Broadway. Thanks for being on Steve Gadlin Star Makers.
Thanks for having me.
Boy, you counted all the way to 113. Is that the highest you've ever counted?
No,
Wow. Well, how high have you counted before?
I've counted to 1,000, and I got tired.
That's really great. Now, how was it that you first knew you had the propensity for counting so high?
I used to count grapes in high school.
Wow. As part of a club or just an extracurricular?
I wanted to make sure that I was getting enough food for the money I was paying for lunch.
You know, that's something we all should spend more time on, making sure that we receive as much as we give into this world. So I admire you for that.
Thanks.
Where can people see you count?
At my place.
Great. And
Yeah.
do you have any big plans for counting in the future?
Yeah, I'm going to hire someone to do my taxes.
Incredible. It's sort of counting by proxy. Well, Peter, thanks so much for being on the show.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
Sure enjoyed having you.
Want to see Steve Gadlin's Star Makers from the best seats in the house? Then you want the luxury and convenience of the Steve Gadlin Star Makers Party Lounge. With 2 exclusive seats, only feet away from the action and all the saltines you can eat, the Steve Gadlin Star Makers Party Lounge provides an experience you won't soon forget. It's like you're seeing tomorrow's stars of Hollywood and or Broadway through a telescope because they're practically in your lap. To reserve your spot, visit us online at sgstarmakers.com or send an email to sgstarmakers@gmail.com. Be on Star Makers.
The eternal question. Is tennis a game or is it a sport? Some questions are better left unanswered. Besides, who cares anyway? It's just dumb old tennis. Or is it? Our next guest is here to show us that whether it's a game or a sport, one thing's for certain, it's a talent. And that's something we can all agree on. Here's tennis player Tim Schreiber demonstrating his talent, tennis. Tim, that was so fun to watch. Thanks for being on Steve Gadlin Star Makers.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Oh, boy, you have to tell me. I noticed when you were playing tennis, there seemed to be different types of swings. Can you talk us through some of those different swings?
Sure. There's there's the forehand that I use with my right hand, and the backhand. I have a two-handed backhand. Some people have a one-handed.
And then aliens might have a three-handed backhand.
That's true. That would be a really interesting swing, actually. I'd like to see that. Yeah, and then there's a slice, and then there's oops, sorry, I don't want to hit you with that.
It's okay. So, how long have you trained to know when to use a forehand and when to use a backhand or a slice?
Not that I've ever trained to do that, but I've been playing for about 10 years.
10 years. That's a lot of years playing tennis. Do you find that you win games or lose games when you play tennis?
Interestingly, I do both.
That's fantastic.
Like the three-armed alien. I can win and lose at tennis.
Wow, that's great. We all sure learned a lot about tennis. Thanks for being on Star Makers.
It is Postman Tom. It is Postman Tom.
Hey, it's Postman Tom here with a dip into the Steve Gadlin Star Makers mailbag. Here's a question from Max Wright in Naperville. Dear Steve Gadlin, do you prefer nachos or sushi? How many tacos on average do you have before a taping? Does the crew have a party platter of tacos behind the scenes during filming, or do they provide their own? What is your favorite movie? Are there tacos in the movie? Thank you. Have a great day. It's a lot of questions, and to all of them, I answer. Do I look like Steve Gadlin to you? Anyway, if you have a question for Steve Gadlin Star Makers, email it to sgstarmakers@gmail.com, and we might read it on the show.
It's hard to write an introduction for a group that truly needs no introduction. And they need no introduction because wants and needs are two different things. Take ice cream, for instance. If you're really hungry for ice cream, you might say that you need ice cream. But a scientist or doctor might prove that you just want some ice cream real bad. And that's the lens of science I'm applying right now. Here's Environmental Encroachment performing their original song, Escargot de Fuego. Oh my gosh, Environmental Encroachment, you guys are freaking amazing. Thank you so much for being on Steve Gadlin Star Makers. Let's tick one more episode off the list. Since we'll all die someday, there are only a finite number of episodes of Steve Gadlin Star Makers that we can create. Was this the last one? I sure hope not, but we'll see. Our Patreon supporters sure give us reason to live. Thanks to Steve Alexander, Maximilian Schur, Mike Madigan, Rob Gibbons, Lynn Roberts, Lauren Rich, Will Kane, Adam Altman, Max Wright, Steve Gargalilo, Kristen Freilich, April Lippert. Join them in supporting our show by visiting patreon.com/SGStarmakers. Oh, the acts tonight were really great. Would you look at the time? Though it's getting late, I hope to see you next time. See you next time, I hope to see you again. Well, the world is such a scary place, and I find peace when I see your face. I hope to see you next time. See you next time, I hope to see you again. We're born, then we die, and in between is a cacophony of chaos. What does it mean? I hope to see you next time. See you next time, I hope to see you again.
Yes, I hope to see you again.
Remember to dream big and do awesome things. This is Steve Gadlin saying, see you next time.